Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Huang Tsz. Oh, okay. 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 Yeah, so good morning, everyone. I'm Huang Tsz. Today I want to talk about my project, the Living Machine. Before I talk about this project, I want to talk about my home city, Hong Kong. Hong Kong doesn't have a really long history, and I'm not also going to talk about like family stories. I just want to talk a simple stories about the fastness of Hong Kong. Hong Kong has 7.4 million people, but only like 424 square meters, and only 25% of the lands can be used and constructions. So we are living in a really crowded city and really crowded environment. Hong Kong is one of the fastest cities in the world. We walk really fast, we work really fast, and we're living in a high-speed style, like escalators. In Hong Kong, we work and we talk about efficiency. When I was small, I go to Cha Chan Tan with my father. Cha Chan Tan has been the tea restaurants. It got a quite similar thing in Thailand called Gobi. That's similar. And then when I go to the restaurant for the Cha Chan Tan, my dad like ordering food, and then he would say about like as usual. And then after like 5 seconds, the dishes would come to our table. And I was amazed about that because like, how did the waiter know what he want to eat? And then my dad told me a stories about he has eaten this restaurant for like 2 decades. And he's already ordering the same food, so the restaurant or the staff know what he wants. And he is very familiar with this shop also. He knows when the boss like got married, and also when does the staff have these babies. So that's the bonding. Cha Chan Tan is not just like a place to eat, but it's also a place for people to have their connections and also the bonding. But how about now? Now I go to Cha Chan Tan, and then when I'm ordering, the waiter is like, okay, you quicker, there's so many customers waiting outside. And you just got like 1 hour to eat. And then after I order 5 seconds, the dishes come to your face, and then it's just like ordering McDonald's. So, what happened when the things go too fast? Something disappeared. Something goes wrong. People cannot adapt the fast changes, and also they assess, they scared, and they depress.
In 2014, protesters took to the streets, demanding a more transparent election in Hong Kong. They carried umbrellas as a form of passive resistance and occupied major roadways for 79 days. The 2014 umbrella movement was followed by the 2019 anti-extradition law protest.
So that's the 2014 Hong Kong. Everything is messed up. And that's the umbrella revolutions. It's not talking about the politics, but it's just like a fact that we are facing. So we are losing our vernacular value in Cantonese, which means the 人情味, which means that the human touch and social bonding in our society. And how about now? Now, even faster. We got AI, we got high tech, everything is changing nowadays. So, in a city that outruns time, we have forgotten that the most beautiful things are those that need time to grow. We started to forget our culture and craft. And for example, our traditional paper crafting. The traditional paper crafting is Hong Kong's intangible cultural heritage. It uses simple material like bamboo, ware, rice paper, and also fabrics to make some kind of 3D objects, like dragons, like lions, and unicorns. They are highly used in festival, worshipping, and also region celebration. And also in the past, they even use it like a daily items, use this kind of technology. But when it's facing disappeared, why does it matter? It's because it reflects our belief system, our community memories, and it also showcases about our design studies, symbolics, and also craftsmanship all together to build a unique culture. So our bridge case carvings. These are bamboo of art. It's famous in 1920s to 1930s. It's talk about our tea culture and also bird watching. And also Maja. Maja is representing our family gatherings and also connection with the technologies. So, we need a space to embrace the culture through art of the slowness. And we got the living machine. My objective of designing these places is for people to have a space to escape from the fastness, also feeling and embrace the slowness. I know that it's impossible to like design one of the things and to let the people to change their living style, but I want to like having some kind of workshop of craftsmanship and also having different kind of events to let them to feel a moment of slowness. And the design are highly inspired by Cedric Price. Cedric Price used this kind of line drawings to show his idea about his conceptual ideas, and all the things are transformable and movable. It's just in a conceptual design, but I'm really inspired by them. Before I talk about the design, let's mention about the site. The site that I choose is the brownfield. The brownfield is in between the urban area and the countryside. It is a very sensitive, or not sensitive, but like very difficult land to use because it got some kind of problems. The problem is that most likely these kind of land are separated into 3 layers. On the top is the dust and the noise, and in the middle is the concrete, mud, and waste containers. And the last one on the bottom, which is the natural farmlands. When government wants to redevelop those lands, they have to make some kind of environmental mitigations and also site consolidations. So government are difficult to use those kind of site. And here is an example about the site which is located right here. So why do I choose this as my site? For the first one is that in this area, there's lots of the factories are abandoned and also warehouse. I can use the original structures for me to have some kind of design to reuse the space, but not facing abandoned. And secondly, is that these kind of sites are far away from the main city. So for a project that are emphasize of slowness and escaping in the fastness, so that's a great opportunity, yeah. And for the last one is that this project doesn't require, like I mentioned before, like large scale of environmental consolidations. So I think that's the perfect site. And here is the project. I tend to use the line drawings to show my ideas because I think that rendering or just like the modeling just fix all the things. But the line drawings have most likely all the possibility to change, to transform, to movable. So because my project is talking about movable. And in here, we can see that they are separated into minor space, like small workshop in here, and also have a big minor element to talk about, like having different kind of activities. And also we got corridor to have some kind of exhibitions. Here's my ideas. In the daytime, it would be like a office, like with really Hong Kong. And then in the weekend, it will becomes a multifunctional spaces for people to have workshop, events, and exhibitions. And I think that's really Hong Kong style and really Hong Kong living patterns. And then I separated the minor space and main space that I mentioned before. And also, each of the elements can modular because I think that I really buy the concept of metabolism in Japanese. They think that architecture have to be grow, renew, and also adapt. So I think my project also leads those kind of sustainability. So after like 25 years, each of the element got broken or just old, I can replace it. And that's one of the meaning of living. And here is the element. This element is used to have a fixable space for them to have different kind of events. And for the second one, which is a quite interesting one, this is like a cube structures like here, and then he got a circular hole on top. People can feel the light, feel the time by the change of light and also shadows. They can have different kinds of workshop in here. And there are also like free openings to let people to have more interactions. And very interesting is like when you upside down it, like the same element but upside down, it has become a place for people to rest and chat. For example, after having a workshop, they can talk about how they're feeling, what is their experience, to talk about their culture and also the social bonding. Here's the demonstration. There is some people are teaching about the paper crafting, and then we can see the light on top, and then the color are mainly like in green and also red, because these two colors I think is very similar with the traditional paper crafting. They use like red and green as their craftsmen. So I type to use red and green. And then on the other side, we can see some kind of exhibition here, and then people are having workshops. And then for the roof in here, I want to have a very nature feeling for the people, because I think it's a place to escape from the fast and also the city. So I want to let it to be more nature. My approach is that I design these kind of structures with two concrete plates, and then in between there is have a curved glass to let the light go inside. And on the bottom part in here, it will be an aluminum plate to reflect the light, because this kind of effort can have a very smoothie and diffuse-like effort, which I want to provide in this space. And then for the arrangement of different kinds of elements, I tend to follow by this system: the open space, the private space, and in-between space. By these systematics, they can have more interactions, and people can have a more comfortable social building. And here is the arrangement or demonstration about the elements. And then that's the end, but I want to have a conclusion first. So for the meaning about living, for me, they have multi-meanings. For the first one is that I'm renewing the abandoned factories. That's the first point. And then for the second one is that I'm bringing out people to have more bonding and more connections, and then let the place to be more livable. So that's the second point. And then for the last point is that it's for the site. The site original is abandoned. The government doesn't want to relive it. So that's the other point. And for the last point is for the heritage. In my opinion, I think that if the heritage go to the museum, it will be died. But when the heritage or the workshop or the techniques are still maintained and people have still learning about it, still making about it, so it still arrive. So that's the purpose of the whole project. And thank you very much for your time.